What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You're listening to Lyles Movie Files. I've got the whole crew here already. Big Gun Gunner, what's up with you, man?
What's good, everybody? I'm good. What's up, listeners?
Chief, how are you doing?
Everything is good. Everything is good. Shout out to our fan base, our ever-growing fan base. So, yeah, good to see that you're enjoying the content we put out. Encourages us to keep doing our thing.
Yeah, indeed. Javon King, what's up with you, man?
Coolin', man. What up, family? Hope everybody's enjoying their week. Getting ready to go into this next podcast, man. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support.
And little brother Jace, how about you?
I'm doing good, man. About to watch these Milwaukee Bucks, see if they can actually make it to the finals and really mess with the NBA's market, trying to actually put in the NBA finals in Milwaukee. So that'll be fun. But other than that, doing good.
Hey, man, it's either going to be Milwaukee or Toronto. It's going to be nuts either way.
They let the number one pick go to New Orleans. All is lost. All is lost.
Right. You picked the wrong cold ball thing. Come on.
New York was like, seriously? Didn't we weigh this like we did Patrick Ewing? Come on.
The frozen ball, the coated envelope, and you still chose the wrong one.
Come on, man. Seriously, guys, don't mess this up. David Stern would have never let this happen.
He absolutely would not have. All right, so Sunday was a crazy, entertaining day. We had that epic Toronto, no, not Portland. We had Toronto playing. Who was Toronto playing? Help me out, fellas.
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
The Sixers.
Bears.
Sixers, right. And then we have Portland and the Nuggets. So both of those games were great game sevens, right down to the wire, exactly the way the NBA wants these games to go. And then we went into maybe the most controversial episode of Game of Thrones yet. I can't wait to see the memes, the outrage, the gifts that are going to come from this season finale. But let's talk about this last episode, The Bells. This one had a little bit of everything. Some major characters died. Daenerys went full on Anakin Skywalker, killed younglings and everything. She was like listening to Diddy and burned him in the flames. It was crazy. And everyone lost their minds as a result of this episode. So I'm going to break down my thoughts on it later, but I want to hear from Chief first. What do you think of this one?
Well, it was a good episode. It was. I mean, these it hasn't been a bad episode yet. I feel. Oh man, where do we start? Let's start the dragon, man. Let's start with the dragon. It turns out one dragon is all she needed. Maybe that's why they killed the other dragon. Maybe two dragons would have been overkill for the destruction of the of Westeros. One dragon pretty much took out the ships, the army, the city, the castle. The conflict I saw when Grey Worm looked back at Jon when he was like Grey Worm went to attack and Jon was like, he was like, oh, whoa, everybody no, stand back. And Grey Worm giving that look over the shoulder. I thought for a second that he was going to turn on Jon right then and there. We saw the destruction of Varys. He went out like a mafia guy, took off his rings. If he had a watch on, I guess he would have took that off too.
I was like, yeah.
Donnie Brasco.
Dude, Sonny Black.
Yeah. My man saw they was coming for him. He was like, let me put my jewelry up. Let this go in. You see, we saw. Well, we think. Looks like Cersei died, and my man there.
Jamie.
Yeah. It was. I mean, the Hound and the Mountain. That was an epic fight. He was so. They were so intent on destroying each other. My man, the Hound, let Cersei walk right past them. The way the Mountain killed her hand was hilarious. And I was wondering how that dude was going to die. Let's see.
Hey, Chief, man, at that point, I was like, you're overstepping your bounds, dude. You're overstepping. It's like, oh, wow. They did like that. Okay.
I don't even know why, I mean, at that point, when I saw that he wasn't listening to her, I wouldn't have thought he was going to listen to me. Wasn't no sense in me saying, hey,
exactly.
let me step in. You know what I mean?
Hold up, Cersei. I got this.
Right. I got this. Like, nah. I'd have done the thing just like she did. I'd have walked right past them both. I'm like, well, look, I served you well, Cersei.
The town's burning. There's dragons flying.
Right. Yeah.
Consider this my resignation.
Right. You ever think of the Titanic when the band kept playing? You know what I mean? Like, nah. At some point, you got to say, look, I got to look out for me. I'm gonna hop into one of them lifeboats and get the hell out of here.
No one's gonna miss this horn anyway.
Right. I heard. I didn't look for him because I only watched the episode once, but I heard Aaron Rodgers was in there. I heard I'm sure he died.
Oh, was he crying?
So, this episode had it all, man. It was a lot of, a lot of destruction, a lot of killing. It's only an hour and a half left, everyone. So this really, I'm like, wow, can they wrap up everything in a half an hour? Like, I guess they can. They've been wrapping up these shows, but it just seems like it's so much that has to get done in this time. Like, it has my head spinning. Like, are they going to try to kill her now? What is going on with all this? The letters that Varys was sending out, how many actually got out? Because he burnt the last one. So how many actually got out? How many people actually know about Jon? Is Tyrion is she going to come after Tyrion for releasing his brother? Is he going to get the Dracarys? This is shaping up to be one hell of a series finale. If it still ends on this high note, I hope they don't drop the ball at the end of this last episode. I hope it still goes out like these last 5 episodes. Because a lot has happened in this short period of time. You know what I mean? The White Walkers, another dragon down, basically the watching the I guess their love situation between Jon and Dany disappear.
So what do you think about that, man?
Listen, I'm not, hey man, I'm not one for his sexual things, but if I didn't know it was my aunt and I had been sleeping with my aunt all this time, well, sometimes you gotta just throw it up. Throw it up. It's those times certain things was okay. You know what I mean? I might have well kept on dating Daenerys. She is your queen. What are you gonna do, right?
But she is.
So I already bended the knee, and I bended several other things. So I might as well go ahead and keep bending. You know what I mean?
Broke off.
It's no sense.
Is the operative word. Broke off.
Yeah. So it's no sense to quit. You know what I mean? I've already committed. I'm already there. If somebody had stopped me before, hey, this family.
It's like Sam, could you send me that message 10 minutes ago?
Right. By this time, you know what I mean? What do you do? You know what I mean? If any of the people you are with right now, if any of you are with anybody, and then somebody comes up and says, hey, that's your second cousin. At this point in time, what do you do? Do you say, hey, it's over? Or be like, man, well, it is what it is now. You know.
John shows
Y'all laughing because y'all know. Y'all laughing because y'all know. You're like, yeah, we're pretty much in it. So it is what it is. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to the. Hey, judge me not. I just speak the truth. So yeah. So this last episode should be interesting. So I'm looking forward to see how this whole thing ends. So yeah, great episode. I wish after everything, every time my car broke down or I needed a ride, there'd be a horse waiting for me. I tell you that. So
hey, the theory is that's Brand. There's a theory that's Brand. That's what the talk is on Reddit and whatnot.
That he wore the horse.
Brand became the horse.
Yeah, because
that
Brand
works.
sees everything, so he's like, oh shit. Well, let me hurry up and save some people.
Yeah, because I mean, like he's
He's
sitting in
pretty
Winterfell not
steady
doing
anyway.
anything. Yeah, that makes sense.
This dude is not doing a damn thing.
Dude, Brand is being
Brand hasn't done anything.
Brand
Like,
gave
what does
old
Brand
girl
do?
the knife.
Brand
gave old girl the knife that killed Baelish and the White Walker, right? So or the Night King. So
Right.
Brand did a lot in the beginning. He's like, here, I'll do this. There, I'm done because I literally just saved the whole world.
He's sipping back.
He just kind of sits there now.
Right.
He's back at the club like Biggie. He's like, nah, y'all come to me.
And he's just giving him the look, that awkward, creepy look from across the club in Winterfell.
Right.
How you doing?
Are you my cousin?
You want to know why they call me the three-eyed raven?
Oh, hey.
Ew. All right, Gunner, what was your take on this episode, man?
I thought it was fine, man. All these naysayers, they're just pissed off. I don't know. Everybody gets mad at the last season, man. I mean, people got mad at the last, why last season is boring and it's so slow and this and that. I'm like, first season was slow. Chill out. So, same thing with, Sopranos. I'm like, yo, everything's happening so fast and everything's, I'm like, look, just watch the show. Shut the F up. Like, nobody likes finales. The only bad finales that were really there were like Roseanne, the first one. It was all a dream. Seinfeld was disgusting and terrible. And I'm thinking of one more that was really bad, but I can't think of it because I probably blocked it out. But, come on, man. Like, these are quality shows. You're going to be fine watching it. People complaining, oh, well, this is such a character switch. What the hell? This chick was burning slave owners, burning everybody, burning people that just captured her randomly. So Jakars was an old word that meant kill these Bama's. Like, man, she done sent dude away that, like, basically was like, yo, you're banished. I almost killed you, but you banished. I'm done. Basically killed her husband. I don't care if it was inadvertently. She killed her husband. So, what do you want, dude? She's been that way. She's been burning people up and forgetting people. You're like, yo, what else? What else people complain about? People
they needed more time to develop her heel turn.
Well, I'll tell you what. They needed 8 episodes, not 6. 8 episodes would have been cool. 6 is definitely speeding up the process. But they're circling around to the prophecies, all of them. You know what I mean? Like, what's her name? Arya, she kills everybody with different eyes, right? So remember? So she's probably gonna kill Dany, right? Or at least try to. Dany's gonna be sitting on a iron or walking through the joint with the Iron Throne. Remember that in like season 2 or whatever the hell? Some vision. So she walked through the Iron Throne that was collapsed, that's covered in snow. That's not snow. That's definitely ash. I'm burning up all these Bamas alive, and I'm so sorry. I could care less about these King's Landing Bamas. All of them. Sometimey Bamas. They threw poop at your queen. You're going to turn on her. Then you're going to just, be subordinate to this cult, by the way, that, and then your queen had to blow them up, so y'all good. Throw poop at her previously. And then before that, you're going to cheer on Ned to, get burnt up, and now Arya got a heart. Man, get the hell out of here. That was the same lady that was cheering your dad to get beheaded. I don't care. And that kid was throwing poop, too. Don't care. Jakars. I thought it was a quality episode. She turned human. She was actually a human being. She's like, look, I'm pissed off. You didn't kill my people. You know what I mean? Yeah, all these white people mad at hell. Like, oh, the Starbucks cup, he didn't pet Ghost. Like, young, they just killed like one of two black characters, main characters on the show, and that was her best friend. So I guess if the best friend was white, they'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, burn the hell
sorry.
down."
I'm gonna defend everybody. Hey man, you don't pet your dog, man. That's just wrong. Come on, man. They ain't just
Whatever.
white people, man. Come on, man. You don't like dogs.
Especially when you
Come
say
on.
goodbye.
Get lost, man.
Well, if you're trying to give away your dog, you probably don't care about them anyway, correct? Because I'm not a giver away. The only time I've had to give up a dog was during a breakup. That's just extenuating circumstance.
Jace, what did you think about this episode, brother?
Okay, here's what I got. This is the first bad tail thing that that Dany actually done to deserve the throne. I'm sorry, the second, because when she actually burned all of King's Landing's army the first time, that was actually like, hey, you've done something finally. So, and not had to tell everyone tell you exactly what to do. Was it psycho? Yes. But is after John, she said to John, it's like, hey, if they're not going to love me, they're going to fear me. And I think this one pretty much hits that nail on the head. They are going to fear you for as long as you are on the Iron Throne. So I thought that was a good move. I thought Varys is like, hey man, I told y'all. Once you see this person go crazy, it's not coming back to the other side. It's like it's full on crazy, and everybody else is like, oh no, we can change her. It's like, nah, she's full on crazy. I'm trying to tell y'all, but y'all didn't want to listen.
No, Tyrion was like, I'm not trying to change her. I'm just like, yo, you stick it out and you just hope for the best. I get Tyrion's philosophy and I dug it, loyalty, but you know me, loyalty until you show me not to be loyal. Now I'm like wondering what he's gonna do.
I mean, like I'll even take Tyrion. It's like he's like, okay, hey, you screw up on me one more time, I'm gonna just kill you. It wasn't like, hey, I'll dismiss you. It was literally like, it will be the last time. Like, if you fail me again, I'm gonna kill you.
I will Dracarys. You will Dracarys.
Yeah. So one like there wasn't like, oh, hey, you'll be dismissed like Sir Jorah. It's like, no, you screw up again, I'm just gonna kill you. It was like, okay, we already know. We now know you're gone for long. But I thought why she couldn't have done the exact same dragon strategy that she employed this episode last week, I'm at least giving the writers a little pass that maybe she just needed, after getting all the army getting their butts handed to them on sea, they just needed to see the Sandys get her head chopped off, and then that was the rallying cry. They all needed to kind of kill everybody in sight. So become basically a army of just murderers. So that was interesting.
Oh yeah, and then they just became wicked people. I was like, ooh, wow, that was a very Aaron Eckhart, Two-Face line right there. Either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. I'm like, I don't think she's a villain. I think she's trying to get the throne.
Well, I mean, it's like I think it was who was it? Tyrion said it's like a while back. It's like most of these people, the reason they got on the Iron Throne is because they were a bunch of villains and conquerors, and then years later they're talked about as so wise and all the good stuff. But it's like, no, the reason why you got this Iron Throne, every one of them got it was because of bloodshed, and
exactly
probably the most wicked of the group, and everybody else just kind of bowed down to you. Like, I mean, that's how it's always been. I mean, it's like, Robert Baratheon, he was just the one who rallied everybody after his wife or his betrothed was killed. Right. It's just that's how it's always been. So, but I liked how. And another thing is like after the Hound says, "Hey, Arya, you don't want any parts of this." Arya's like, you know what? This isn't what I want. I need to do something better. So, come next week, I'm gonna look forward to seeing Arya becoming known as the Queen Slayer. I think that's gonna be fun.
Right. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. What else?
Shout out to the Iron. What is it? Not the Iron Army. The
Golden Company.
Them Mammoths took the Ellis of the Elves I was like, yo, you didn't even do nothing, dude. You were just sitting there looking arrogant. And then he was like, oh, let me just get beheaded.
I mean, how many times do you expect you're in a walled-off city and there to come a wall of fire to come up behind you? That's just not something they teach you in Golden Company School. So
that's true.
Yeah, but I actually, since I mentioned this, I love the meme like that you said Gunner sent around, basically like Cersei when she was like, "Hey, don't worry, the Iron Fleet will be there. You know, the Golden Company will be there. The Lannister army is going to be there." And it was just like basically a bunch of pictures like guys like, "Ooh, no, sorry, yeah, sorry." Yeah.
Man, she went through all the stages of 7 stages of grief, dude, right then and there. She's like, no, this is fine. We're fine. I promise.
Like, you see that smoke billowing up? Yeah, that's the whole fleet. And you see that wall, the one right behind it? Yeah, that's our wall. We are so screwed, you have no idea. So can we just go in the tunnels and try and get out of here before everybody's dead? Oh, wait, you want to sit here for 20 more minutes before you see a dragon? Like, oh, yeah, I think it's about to go. So.
Denial, baby. That's a terrible drug.
Yeah. Well, I'm for what I'm looking forward to is I'm trying to figure out how they are going to make next week the series finale better than this episode. Because I mean, it's like as cruel as Dany was, it was like just the visual of that, just like that was like you actually saw like it's just that you actually saw Anakin killing the younglings. It's like, oh wow. Like, wow. I mean, it was just like everybody, I mean, because everybody has been on, the folks have been on Team Dany for years. Just like, y'all notice, she's been like this the whole time. It's just her advisors who say, hey, chill out for 5 minutes. All right, fine.
All the time. She's been being held back for a minute. Now she's like, I ain't nobody holding me back. I ain't get no D last night. I'm out.
I mean, she's really hit the straight up Anakin, like, they're holding me back. They're not holding back anymore.
So you subscribe to Cheese Theory?
What?
You break down your theory.
Told you.
What is the theory?
All right. I said the reason why I said that about the aunt sleeping with the aunt, he didn't sleep with her, right? So I said that if he had slept with her, she wouldn't have done that.
No, I would say
I totally agree with that.
No, I would say is you say, hey, I mean the rational way is like, hey, I'm not sleeping now that I know you're my aunt. I'm not. That's not our relationship anymore. But we could use very much like Tyrion and Varys' theories, like, hey, like I can be married to you. Just we don't have. I mean, nobody asks questions why there's no kids because you've told everybody in the world there's no heir coming from you. So you could have easily just said, hey, I am perfectly okay being married to you, all the formality, except there will be no sex.
We're not even talking about that. We're just talking about that night before.
Hold on, Jay. How many times
we ain't even talking about like all
in a relationship when your woman comes home from work or somewhere and she's like, oh, I hate that, blah, 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 blah. And then my mother called and she's like, blah, 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 blah. And the next thing you know, you in that joint, you like, she's like, woo, ho. And then afterwards, she's just calm. You bring a stillness to her. You know what I mean? Because she's relieved all that stress.
And then the flip side is, you wake up in the morning.
Then we get in just like Cersei. I mean, when Jaime was away and another Lannister cousin was around, you put in, God, Javon, I hate to use this. No, I can't actually. I mean, it's like you basically use the Orgasmo stunt cock. Yeah, that's who's dropped in. Like when she needs that, you drop in that dude. It's like,
well, she gave that dude up. She left that dude in the pyramid. Remember?
To find a real dude. I mean, again, this is not
in the Winterfell. Really?
I don't.
All I'm saying is,
Winterfell basically
we're
like he ain't gonna find no.
With her, none of that would have happened.
What we are trying to do is
keep
the peace. We don't have. I mean, we just say.
He should have just smashed. I'm sorry. He should have just smashed. I was sitting here like, what's wrong with you? You've been smashing. It don't matter now. When, I mean, whatever. And he should have just smashed. I mean, look, Arya got the D. She done saved the freaking world. Right? All Daenerys had to do was get the D. She could have been like, you know what? The worst she would have done if Daenerys got the D was to fly straight to the tower and destroy everybody. Right? That would have been the worst she did. With the bell.
Jeff,
Hey,
remember when you used to have female listeners?
No, but like I was trying to say,
no.
on the flip side, you look at yourself as a dude. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? I'm like, look, I'm cranky as hell. I wake up in the morning, nothing's happening, and I got to go to work. Guess who's catching hell? Anybody that decides to F with me on the work tip, right? Like, no, I ain't fixing that freaking bug. Do it your damn self. That's why you got maintenance. That's why I made sure you get the maintenance great. Do it yourself. When, like, you know, if I got broken off, you'd be like, you know, I'll look at it. I got time. I get breaking off, I ain't got time for that crap.
Arya
It's a human thing. That's not even a woman thing. That's a human thing, dude. We need sex in our lives. That's it.
Brianna has sex. The next thing you know, she's crying over Jamie. You know what I mean?
See, that would be an indication of why sex is a bad idea. She was the biggest fiercest one.
She just chose poorly.
Her mom was right there.
All I'm saying is, if she had slept with him, it would have changed the whole tone. And by him rejecting her, it made her feel a certain kind of way.
Oh yeah.
When she
the rejection is 100%. It's like, yeah, it's like.
But that's what I'm saying. So here's what I'm saying: if he had slept with her, you know what I mean? You can say somebody just saying the words sometimes is not enough. Oh, I'm with you. Sometimes you gotta, you know what I mean? I've had people who have been like, man, I got your back, dog. And then we get into a scruff and I look and there's nobody around. I'm by myself. You know what I mean? Whereas I've had boys of my, friends of mine where somebody has said, just, looked at me wrong. They're like, hold up, Chan, why you looking at my man? He's like, oh, chill, man, So for that simple reason, man, actions. He needed to take action right there. He needed to say, hey, listen, you're my queen. I'm with you. Take some of this. The next day when she was standing there and the bell was ringing and she looked at him, she could have said, well, yeah, he's still with me. I mean, it just had to happen, man. It just had to happen.
Like, damn. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I will say this. I'm being extra PC, but in olden times this is an old customs. I mean, it's like, yeah, that happens. Like, so, I mean, at some point, John probably did need to take one for the team. So.
One for the team. Take one for the entire village. God damn. King's Landing's just done.
But you just said you hated him, so screw them.
No, I don't give a shit. I'm just saying. No, I really don't. I truly do not care about all these people. First, they're fictional. Second, who cares? Third, these fictional people have been sometime fictional people for so long, they deserve all of this. That's what happens when you choose middle of the road stuff. That's what happens when you choose the wrong side. That's what happens when you choose the wrong side to support Trump supporters. So, what do you want to do? The cars.
I like that you're staying very consistent with your message.
Yes. However, everybody would have been cool. Everybody would have been cool if John just gave her the D. She'd have just gone straight to the tower. That's what I'm saying. She'd have been like, oh, you know what? I hear the bell, but let me just kill this chick. Burn her up.
Nah, but that look that Tyrion gave, that he was like, wait, she's not. Oh, crap. It's all
Tyrion
going down. He was like, shit, it's all going back.
Oh, damn it, Varys.
But I Don Dalveris, and he was right. Oh, crap.
Varys looked down at him. He's like, shit, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Deuces. I already took off my jewelry. I'm sunny black right now. When he did that, I busted out laughing. I was like, oh, my goodness. Chief, straight up. Like,
yeah. He didn't even say a word. He was just like, all right, well.
All right. I really flashed back to Al Pacino. Donnie Brasco, like, oh, just take off, let's show him.
Right. So let's break down a little bit of this episode here. So a lot of people last week were, oh man, that's so messed up. Sandy's killed. What's Daenerys gonna do? Then Daenerys burns the city, and everybody's like, whoa, that was too far. They made her such a villain. She killed people. I don't really understand what they expected to happen. I mean, you can't have it two ways. She just kills all the bad people. without killing the innocents. That was Cersei's whole plan. She was mixing the civilians in with the soldiers to make her stop, not knowing that chopping the head off of her
Gave
homegirl
zero
was going to
F
make her
right.
completely go off.
I mean,
Zero.
if somebody kills your best friend in front of you and just is daring you to do something, that's kind of a retaliation you do.
That was
It's
one of
not
y'all
just-
one of y'all four Bamas up there, and big ass dude. I'm going after the big ass dude first. Like, like I said, I would have gone straight for the tower because I see that Bama in there too.
Nah,
All three of
because
them.
it's one of those. I mean, I think if you want to be the person did something to you, did something cruel, you would want us to do equal cruelty to them. You would be like,
Yes,
oh,
you know
you
what-
killed
you
my
know
best
who you
friend.
sound like,
I'm gonna
Jay?
want to see you burn everything, and then kill you.
Jace, you know who you sound like? Liam Neeson.
That's funny.
Somebody did something to a friend of his. Now he wants to come after everybody. You know what I mean? And he's a black bastard to do.
All
So-
black bastards.
Right.
Everybody
So-
King's
so
Landing.
this is-
Again,
so this
I
is-
think
right.
you're missing the point.
But what I'm saying is this. I mean, just because Cersei did that, she could have just went after Cersei. None of the townspeople were responsible for that beheading of Missandei.
But these, I mean, if you've heard about these people, King's Landing, they're a bunch of cruel bastards themselves. And there's nothing. I mean, the thing that they've actually never turned on is Cersei because of her cruelty.
They turned on her when she was in the streets naked.
No. When she wasn't.
Are sometime people.
Yeah, Gunner's right.
No, okay, yes, they are sometime people.
Yes,
but
they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Exactly. Like,
that was another meme I decided to send off, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like these aren't people that are like the people where she in Otto's Islands, where her assumption could have been, hey, once I free these people, they'll be loyal subjects. King's Landing, they already know if there is a Jon Snow or Robert Baratheon's bastard running around, if they get tired of me, they will try and remove me. So I need to show 100% that will not be tolerated. I don't think anybody's going to step up to her now.
There's no one left.
I love how Grey Worm was like, fuck it too.
Nah, like, Grey Worm at least had a purpose.
Yeah.
I understood his path of rage. He was like, these jokers were the cats rocking with Cersei. And if they weren't rocking with Cersei, my homegirl would still be here.
Yeah, because they should have known the war was over, but then they wanted to be little bastards. So, you know what? I'm going to show you how to end the war.
Right.
They should have surrendered a long time ago.
And then I read, like, a lot of people weren't happy about the resolution of the storyline with Jaime and Cersei, where Jaime goes back to her, and they basically appear to die together in the cave. People were like, that's jacked up. All that great character development that Jaime had is ruined because he decided to get with Cersei. And I'm like, have none of y'all had a friend who went back to the whack chick or the whack dude? I mean, come on.
I mean, that's not even
real. There are three of us on this phone call that did that. That's
right. Yes!
There's three of us on this podcast that have definitely done that. I'm only saying that because I don't know if the other two have. I'm sure y'all did.
The actions spoken by Gunner are not necessarily supported by Chief.
Wow.
I am not in those three.
Yeah,
Here I go again.
It's like if I could raise my hand, I would be one of those idiots. But I mean, it's like, hey, everybody has seen this. It's like, why are you acting like you all brand new? It's like,
it ain't new.
I think the problem somebody's supposed to have is they want these happy endings because it's a series finale. It's like, no, it's like this dude is made of fantasy stuff with real stuff happening with their relationships. It's like, yeah, the dude goes back to the whack shit. But why didn't he get to the girl who actually's got his back? Because we're stupid sometimes.
Why didn't Brienne go ahead and Sir Brienne go ahead and mess with what's his name? The dude from the north.
Jordan, he's putting it out there. I'm trying to put my bid in.
That dude was like, look, I'm like, where's the big woman? I'm down. Let's go. Look, he's cheering the hell out of her getting knighted.
He was the good guy that got ignored for the bad boy.
Exactly.
That's real life.
Usually how it works.
Yep.
And then, the end result, that's usually how it works. Now, my ass is up in the north making sure I'm good with Giant's milk. Now you just short down in Winterfell, cold as shit in your robe.
Deuces.
That's what happened.
Crying in the darkness. Yeah.
Shout out to those that I left crying in the darkness, and those that have left me and now they're crying in the darkness. Peace.
So yeah, I thought
I
that
had
made
no
perfect
sympathy
sense.
for it. Yeah,
And that Jamie
that's good.
died because he was dumb and went back to her. And
Listen, Jamie explained it to her.
exactly.
Jamie explained it to every viewer. Like, yo, I did this because of her. I did this because of her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I still think about her after I smash you. Unfortunately, now this is definitely misogynistic. However, it may be true. They were like, my dudes were like, dudes on Facebook, I swear to God, and everything else, every other platform, I swear to goodness, they're like, yo, I guess that coochie wasn't that good because you just ran back in the middle of the damn night, all the way back to King's Landing. That's not a short trip.
Hey man,
with the expressway, it's pretty short now. But
that ain't no
it's
short
still
trip.
mortal.
You got a dragon.
It took all of 5 minutes.
It still took a long time for an old girl to fly there. Good
well,
Lord.
remember, he actually got caught going there, and then they basically took him the rest of the way. But again,
going all the way back.
Anybody who's done that understands it's like, yes, you can have the chick who is 100% down for you, and then you're like, I understand what you offer, but I'm gonna go to this stupid idea.
It sounds like a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Honestly, what else good happens after 2:00 in the morning? Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Probably not.
Yeah, that wasn't a bit of night, wasn't it?
Upgrades, no. So that was that, and then we had, John just had a really interesting episode because he was just like, wow, okay, yeah, I don't want this. I don't want to be the king. I don't want it. And Varys makes the point again that, hey, because you don't want it, makes you the best candidate for the king. And a lot of people are going, well, I don't want this cliche ending with Jon being on the throne. But I kind of feel like if you've been watching Game of Thrones since the start, the person who was supposed to have the cliche ending was Robb Stark. Right. Robb was all set up to be the hero to carry this thing through to the end. He got killed not even midway through, like super early on in the thing. He was the one who had the destiny to avenge his father. That's what we normally see in these kind of movies. You killed my father, and I'm going to kill you. And he got wiped out at a wedding reception. So this thing with Jon has been totally different to me because he's had a lot of crap. He got killed by his crew who was supposed to be down for him. The woman that he loved got killed by one of the same dudes who stabbed him in the front. And he had to deal with this zombie army. Then he finds out the new chick that he's hooking up with is his aunt, who's now going, hey, I don't want you to tell anything to your sisters about me. So he's had an interesting run. And now he's seeing that, wow, these guys are just like the Night's Watch when they go off without proper leadership. They'll just kill innocent people, leave a slaughter, and just go crazy. I think that Jon's ultimate destiny in this is to go back up north and hang out with the wildlings, because that was the only place where he was really happy.
That'd be cool.
He had no duty obligation like he is with the Night's Watch. Mm-hmm. And he could just hang out, keep warm with old girl, regret, learn how much he really did not know, and just kick it.
It's like, but here's the other thing. It's like, go back to almost probably the first episode. It's like, Ned Stark basically is like, oh, you don't want to be here with all this BS? Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you about your mom and dad. I'll tell you about your mom once you're on the wall and sworn off everything so you can never take the throne. I'll tell you who your mom is. It's like, so if you were to say, this is cliche, it's like, dude, he's literally been the dude who's furthest out. When you first saw it, like you said, like, he's been the dude furthest out from it. But now it's like, oh, okay, if he actually got the throne, that would seem like cliche, but this show does not, like you said, doesn't do cliche. It's like,
and even if they did, that's still okay because look at all that Jon went through.
Yeah, he's actually suffered for it. But I
the same people complaining now.
I wouldn't be surprised, literally, at the end of the show if it's not Queen Sansa. Like,
no,
I actually wouldn't
be surprised if Dany was.
She went through No, I think Sansa, she went through more than everybody on that show. I don't care what anybody said. That chick was raped repeatedly for fortnights. You know what I mean? Like several fortnights, and had to jump off with a dickless dude who betrayed her. You know, in her head. You know what I mean? That he didn't, but
That wasn't in her head. He did it.
Right, like, you know what I mean? Killed her brothers or what? Well, he did betray her, but killed her brothers, and she was like, "Yo, at least you're better than that dude." Think about that. Then she had to, she said, "I still feel what he did to me." Freaking Littlefinger. I was like, "Ooh, that's oof." You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. She went through hell.
That was Ramsay.
I think
Who did I say?
He told her.
Who did I say? That's what I mean.
You said Littlefinger.
No, Littlefinger did all of this. And she told Littlefinger when they were all up in, up north, I was like, "Yo, I still feel what he did to me, Bama, the dude you gave me to." Remember?
What Ramsay did to her,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, yo, like, come on, man. Like, if anybody in this show deserves a rule, it's probably her. That's why her and Danny don't get along. She's like, "Look, I've been through crap too. Forget you."
Nah, but I think Jeff is right though. I was actually, as much as before I was not Team Danny, her actually being on the throne, I think, and John just decided to peace out would just piss off just so many people. But it's like, she's a horrible ruler. Why does she get the throne? And then it'd be like, yeah, dumbasses. Like, exactly. It's like, sometimes the best person isn't got the job. Like, come on.
And also, it would make this whole series full circle because the Targaryens back on the throne.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The last time a Targaryen was on the throne, they were burning people who disagreed with them, who plotted against them. And it kind of shows that, hey, there is no perfect leader, and everybody's hands are bloody. So if you've been Team Danny all along, she has this horrific thing that she's just done. But is it any worse than what Joffrey did? Is it any worse than what Cersei did when she blew up everybody with the crap in King's Landing? And didn't go help out against the White Walkers. And just a numerous terrible, awful things. And Robert was too busy getting drunk to be king. I mean, so there's never been a good ruler that we've known about in Game of Thrones. So Dany at least has that delusion that she's a perfect leader. And I think we get the happy, sad ending of her being on the throne and realizing everything that she lost to get there. Kind of like Michael Corleone at the end of Godfather, the first two good ones.
You mean Godfather, where Godfather ends?
Yeah. Like in Godfather 2, where he's sitting in the lawn,
that's the end of the whole series.
And he's like, geez.
The end of the series, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I killed Fredo, and what do I got? Sorry, spoiler. But what do I have to show for it? So I think that's their ending, and Jon goes back up north like, this is terrible. I got to get away from this. And Arya's like, yeah, this whole warrior assassin life, this just makes me end up like the Hound. And I like that she has that scar on her face now, so it's like, okay. This doesn't end out well. Tyrion's the only person that I have not figured out the best case, most likely scenario for.
I think he might survive. And
I
then,
think he'll survive too. I don't see the point of killing him when she wins, but I don't think he's going to stick around to see what he helped create.
Just goes off.
It'd be cool. Drunk. It'd be cool if everybody kind of fits another role that was like in season 1, kind of like how The Wire ended season 1, where somebody replaced somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that kid replaced this dude. Like, that dude replaced that dude. You know what I mean? Like, if Tyrion replaced, like, Littlefinger in this role, you know what I mean? He's like, look, this ain't right. I got to figure this out. Or, you know what I mean? Like Jon has replaced his uncle. Whatever. He's like, I'm going back to watch. You know what I mean? Forget this.
I'm building a nice watch back up. I don't know what we're watching for now, but yeah, just hanging on the wall.
Wait, okay, just and I'm trying to remember the guy who was the original. Oh gosh, what is it? The original
Maester.
Yeah, the original Maester is Jon's uncle, right?
Nah, I thought that was one of the Mormonts.
No, yeah.
That's how he got the sword.
No. The Maester.
The guy who was faking like he was really old and decrepit but was hanging out with the prostitutes. That dude.
No.
Dude.
No, the guy who was actually blind. The actual
the blind guy. No.
The
other
Targaryen.
He is, but I thought he died.
Yeah, but I'm saying that was his uncle, right? But it's like Gunnar says, like everybody replaced somebody else.
That was his uncle, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's dead.
Yeah. So he would replace him. Just like, I'm going back to Night Watch. I'm not dealing with this BS.
Sam will replace him. Why in the world?
Well, I'm just.
Oh yeah, where did Sam go? Where did Sam go? Did he
Sam's
go back to
chilling
the
in
Citadel?
Winterfell. He's like, why am I going down for this foolishness? I'm staying here with my
No, I
pregnant
thought
wife.
he went to
I'll
I
holler
thought
at
he
y'all
went
later.
back to the Citadel or
Nah,
back
man.
home.
He's like, it's cold here. Citadel didn't have any time for Sam. And Sam was
Oh, yeah,
good because
true.
he's like, you know what? Peace out.
Yeah,
Save
remember,
the
he
world.
stole his stuff.
Right.
Oh yeah, he stole stuff and helped Mormont before he died. Yeah, that's
He's
right.
got overdue library books he's got to take care of. Right. So, all right. That's our thoughts on Game of Thrones. But I have a bigger question for you all now. Like, Game of Thrones is just the latest show, series, franchise where I feel like the fan base is losing their minds because of their displeasure with how things have played out with the series they loved so much that they now feel is going to crap. It's going to wildfire. So my question for you is, I mean, the one franchise that has managed to avoid this fan outrage has been Marvel Studios. They have managed to be like 22 films deep, and fans aren't losing their minds and protesting and like, ah. I'm not talking about the man-childs who can't understand that a woman could headline a movie. I'm talking like the general fan base. We've seen it with Star Wars. We've seen it with Game of Thrones. We've seen it with Star Trek. We've seen it with the Hobbit franchise. What happens to these franchises? Is it a matter that the fans decide, especially in the case of Game of Thrones, where they have a long enough break where they can start formulating the ideal ending? Okay, this is how it should end because blah, 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 blah. And then when X, Y, and Z happens, they go, that's wrong. I can't believe that. This is a betrayal of the character, etc. Where do you think fan outrage goes wrong in terms of treating a beloved source material that the creators and maybe the second people to get a handle on that franchise decide to go a different way? Javon, you haven't talked for a minute. What's your take on this?
Well, Jeff, I honestly think that those franchises that experience the most backlash from fans for not meeting their expectations, whatever they may be, are the ones that are adapted from literature, from books, from comics, right? Um, it's funny because people, you read these stories, any book you've read where stories being told about anything, you formulate who these characters are in your mind. You see them, in your own mind, and if 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 the minor details, like from the way a character looks. Now, granted, you've read this story, and you don't know what these people look like. Even with, let's say, a comic, where he has the visual of what Wolverine is supposed to look like. If they don't get that right when they adapt that to screen, you're outraged. You feel like this is going to be terrible. This is terrible.
Sure.
I'm not going to be invested, right?
Yes.
Not only that, we sometimes attach ourselves to things, man, and we forget, especially when it comes to any piece of literature that we love, when they adapt it to screen, or even if it's a television show. Like there's outrage when they adapt television shows to the big screen, or do remakes of TV shows, right? We're attached to that property because we already know it's familiar to us. Even if we've never seen it, like if you're going from literature to screen, you visualize what these characters look like, what the scenery looks like, etc. And if the people putting this thing together don't get it right, you're disappointed. And not only that, people are different. You can't please everybody because Marvel does have their backlash. You got people who are unhappy with the fact that Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man, or you can never please everybody, and you shouldn't try. People are going to be unhappy about some aspect of what you're doing because they hold these properties near and dear to their hearts. They think they could have done a better job, or they see it this way, they see it that way. Shit, we do it all the time. You know, you see things the way you want it to look like the way you have it in your mind. And I think like I said, you develop a closeness, or you develop an emotional connection to whatever the property is. And when when it doesn't translate to the visual, it's a total disappointment to you. And also, I feel that there's no such thing as the perfect adaptation. There's no such thing. For every one person that loves it, you're gonna have 5 that hate it. All you can do, and that's another thing too as well, is sometimes the written word or whatever, you have to change. You have to take some liberties to tell a story visually. So sometimes, it's best for folks to really divorce themselves from what you're expecting to see and go into whatever you're viewing with no expectations. Hey, if you start in the cellar, you can't go anywhere else. You're up.
But you raise a good point, and I think it's interesting. A lot of time with these franchises, they start off well, and people are like, "Yeah, that was good. I'm on board." Alien, that franchise started off great. It had one of my all-time favorite sequels, and then by the third film, it started going to this weird direction where I was like, "What are y'all doing now?" And like a franchise like Lethal Weapon also started off strong. It went off the rails as it continued.
Well,
Star Wars is probably the best example because people will go, "Oh, those first 3 films were perfect." Then you've got people going, "But those prequel films, they suck." Now we got people, well, maybe the prequels weren't so bad because the sequel trilogy really sucked.
These really suck. But Jeff, even with that, right? Like you said, Alien is one of my favorite franchises, same as Terminator. And you get to film 5 and you're like, what the hell is going on here? There's a combination of a lot of things. Number one, one of the main factors, and I just watched, what was the last Alien after Prometheus? What was this, Covenant? I just watched that. Was that Covenant, or I'm thinking about a video game, damn it?
I think that was it.
Covenant, I think.
It wasn't, thanks, man. It wasn't terrible. It's just, what I found myself doing? This isn't Aliens. Or when I watched Terminator Salvation, this isn't Terminator 2. We're comparing to what we had before. A lot of times I find myself doing that. At least I'll say that. I find myself doing that.
Now, question for you. Do they open themselves up for that? Because if I'm watching a Star Wars film, I expect to see lightsabers. I expect to see blasters and maybe some cool spaceship battles. That's a Star Wars film to me, and some connection to Luke, Anakin Skywalker. To me, that's a Star Wars film. Now, that tie can be as close as Rogue One, where we see Princess Leia in the last few minutes, or as distant as, hey, Han Solo's eventually going to meet Luke Skywalker in Solo. So they can go all over. But I think in some cases, like with what you mentioned with Aliens and Terminator, it's kind of like, have y'all watched these movies before? This is not the feel of a Terminator Alien movie. I watched that Predator remake last year, and it's like, you guys just decided we'll take a Predator into a comedy and make it an action comedy. Will that work? I feel like there's a certain amount of, you need to stick with what got the franchise there. I understand everybody's like, well, we want to take it into a bold, brand new direction. But sometimes you just need to stick with what works. Like, imagine if Avengers Endgame had Tobey Maguire doing a singing and dancing act in the middle of it.
Jeff, that actually happened. That actually happened. I'm sorry to tell you.
Oh, interesting.
It also it was Quincy Dinky why there might not have been a Spider-Man 4. But I'm sorry to jump in. But I think most times when these properties, the fan outrage goes mostly, like you said, when they think they know what the writer says. Like for Star Wars, George Lucas always knew what he was writing. He basically threw us in 4, 5, and 6, but he already had the ideas of 1, 2, and 3 before he even started doing it. He sketched out his own backstory, and then he just brought us in on the story. I think anytime when we think we know what a backstory is, we start complaining, oh, it's not the backstory we made. But then when you go into these, like, and Star Wars is the easy one because it's like this is a story the original author made, and this next batch is fan fiction. It's not his vision. It's like you thought you had an idea of what should come next, but it really is just fan fiction. Like Game of Thrones is, hey man, this is actually what I sketched this out. I mean, the fact that they're using my cliff notes to make season 9, and you're complaining, is like you'd have hated the book too, because I'm gonna write the exact same damn thing.
And that's why I'm like, wouldn't the book have done this? Because they're going off his sketches. They're not completely freelancing,
right? I mean,
oh no, they talked to him, and it wasn't like, hey, so we're gonna have Daenerys go crazy. You cool? Wait, no, Daenerys is the hero in my book. No, well, too bad, George. We're gonna do what we want to do.
It's taking too long.
Last I checked, he gets a credit. Last I checked, he's still credited in the beginning of the movie, like, you know what I mean, or excuse me, beginning of in the opening credits.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think people are just bitching, dude, because
I think
had
people...
this idea, and then she's supposed to be so demure and super white woman.
People want what they want. They want what they want to see, and you can't please everybody. You can't give the people what they want all the time because it's not going to make sense. You know.
Let's say if you can't. There's no way to please everybody, but it's also once they get invested, they think they know the story. Like Jeff said, like for me, like Aliens, I think is actually a good one because you had like the first one was like Ridley Scott, like a space thriller. Then the next one was an action thriller, but then that third one kind of is like, wait, this is different. And then like Prometheus and Covenant, you're like one of my guys I used to work with, he basically had to tell me, like, basically there's some whole supplement stuff on why Prometheus makes sense. And it's like, I don't want a movie like that because it's like, hey, I want to, especially like a property, I want to see the vision that they had. Don't tell me to go read the cliff notes or the backstory somewhere else.
You touched on something right there. You know, it's a lot of times with these continuations of these properties like Star Wars, Aliens, Terminator, whatever, you don't have the people who were originally around a table writing this first set of movies or this first movie, what have you, at the table when they're at film 7. So we're deviating totally from the story and the universe that we've created, the story we've told in the universe we created. And we see that happen with movies, especially now when they go into film 3 or film 4. You don't know where you're going with the story. It's a cash cow at this point. This franchise is just that. It's a franchise. We don't know where we're going anymore. We're just going to put another one of these turds out. If you keep watching them, we're going to keep farting them out. I think that's where these things go.
One of the funnier ones is like Scream 4. Scream 4 is I mean, and I'm saying this, I like Scream 4, but it's like, hey, everything you thought you knew, we kind of are tweaking around the edges. And it works on that film, but a lot of times the other ones don't work because it's like your tweaks are just, you can tell this is written by, it's the fan fiction version versus the guy like, nah, this is what I planned out. I can't finish my vision because magically I die or something, but here's my sketch notes on what I want. It's just, and then you have more people thinking, oh, they're entitled to write their own fan fiction on what they want. And they just start taking way too much ownership of something that you're supposed to like, but you're supposed. I mean, you go into the panels and question like, "Hey, why did you do this?" You don't think, "Well, you should have done this. This is what I would have done." It's like, well, you write your own crap. That's what you want to do,
right?
Make your own property.
Like all these theories and stuff. Now there's like a petition out there to be like, "Oh, we need competent writers," so people are signing a petition because they don't like season 6,
and they want to read the season.
Yeah,
or season whatever we're on. I'm like season 8. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, y'all ridiculous. It's ridiculous now. It's not that
like where
bad.
It's going. Write your own.
Hey, Chief, what do you think about this, man?
Well, you know, I agree that they get away from what made. Let's go. Let me bring up a couple of examples. Blade 1 and Blade 2 were pretty good, right? Then Blade 3 was some shit. At least to me, anyway. They got away from the focus on Blade. It was almost like they was trying to phase Blade out and introduce some new characters. But like almost make Blade like a and one to me. Like, yeah, Blade's in this too.
Maybe it was like they're trying to do like the franchise starter, like, hey, Wesley, you can kind of be a cameo for what we're gonna do.
Right.
And it was like
right, but for a Blade movie, you know what I mean? That didn't like it just didn't make sense what they were doing with Blade 3. So
or the fact that Dracula was random.
Well, not only was he random, but he wasn't even hard to kill.
How did they kill him?
He was supposed to, like, the villain from Blade 2 was hard.
Dust or whatever, yeah.
You know what I mean? If you think about it, like the Dracula dude, he went down fairly easy.
Hey man, Heatwave didn't know what he was doing just yet.
Nick didn't burn himself.
Second example, and I was talking about this today with a good friend of mine, was The Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So, what failed? What made the first one was good. The second one was and I'm gonna tell you why they all went downhill in a certain way was the CGI. So they oversaturated the CGI in the last two. Like you know what I mean? Like the characters at some point in time look fake. You know what I mean? When you're watching it, you're like, oh God, you know, why did it go to a cartoon? So that was with Blade. Let's think of another franchise that went downhill. Off the top of my head, who's got three? Now I didn't see any of the somebody mentioned Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit or something like that. I didn't see any of those. I'll tell you one that didn't go downhill. Harry Potter. Harry Potter throughout 7 or 8 movies, it stayed consistent. It gave you what you came for, and that's all you really want from a sequel or a great movie. Like, you want the things that you came for. You know what I mean? You hate for that story to deviate from what it is, especially if it was a good story. And you don't, I don't want to see I don't want to see it transform into they're trying to make the story now and another original story out of the main story. That doesn't make any sense to me. Keep the formula that you got. Keep the formula like you got. Why are the X-Men movies so bad? They don't stick to shit. They don't
even stick to their own material.
Right. They just come out. They say, "Look, man, we're gonna put a movie out. You'll recognize the name of the characters, but they're nothing like they're supposed to be. Enjoy." You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just So these movies, man, where people complaining. We talk about Star Wars. I mean, what the hell was that? What in the hell is going on with that? So after 20, 30 years, you bring Luke back, and he's a coward? You know what I mean? Then you stick to what goes. Stick to the story. Stick to what sells. It's a movie. It's okay to stick with sells. You know what I mean? When they make Pepsi, they don't change to cherry Pepsi and then get rid of the original Pepsi. You know what I mean? So if you want to make another Star Wars franchise, make a totally different Star Wars franchise, but don't change the original people into something else. That ruins the story altogether. People come to see the people they know. You know what I mean? Now, John Wick, there's a third one about to show off. You know what I mean? Now, if you go in there and you start watching John Wick, but now he doesn't want to kill. It's a friendly, gentler John Wick. How do you think that's going to go off?
That's what messed up Highlander, the TV show.
Right. The
last season, this Bama ain't chopping no heads off. I'm like, well, freaking 5 seasons.
Not just the Highlander, the TV show, the rest of the Highlander series. from the
we don't
movie.
need to talk about the whole. No, we don't. We don't need to
The first
know.
Highlander was awesome. What in the hell was this? So now all of a sudden he's a alien.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we saw the bastard being born.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Well, they always said what they said was the Highlander sequels were not consecutive. Each one was a sequel to the first one, and they just made up crap. Ugh.
So fan fiction.
So fan fiction. Except for Endgame, which they actually did okay with, right? Because I was like, oh, they're just this sounds like a very good sequel to the first one. And then they did what they did. And I'm like, oh God. Highlander Endgame, not Avengers Endgame. Sorry.
No. But
to clarify for the listeners.
But remember, Highlander Endgame, he was supposed to be the last one. It wasn't. It makes no sense for there to be anybody else beside him.
I guess, but you know what I mean. Like to go out like that, like nah. I was kind of like, yo, that just happened. That just
we're used to sticking to the script.
I don't want to watch the rest of this movie now. And then that's not the end of the movie. That's not the end of the series. That should have been the end of the series. No. Then they put out the source, made for TV on USA, or whatever the network's called now. Yeah. So I feel you, but Chief? Can we circle back to what you just said, and then with Game of Thrones though? People are saying the same thing about Game of Thrones. Where, I mean, I just sent y'all another meme, where in season 2, old girl's like, I'm going to take the throne with fire and blood. And everybody's like, that's right. Yeah. And then she actually does it in this last episode. And everybody's like, wait, no, don't. No, she's supposed to.
The problem is with that.
What happened?
In this point in time, I was reading this little newspaper. You know how they got the little articles or whatever, and a lot of people have named their children Khaleesi, Daenerys.
That's hilarious.
So now you've got these people who, in all this time, viewed her one way, right? Like in their mind, they thought she was one way, and now she's turned and burned up a village, and your daughter's named Khaleesi now. So you know what I mean? Now you irritated. Oh my God.
Well, that's dumb.
It is what it is.
First of all, don't name your kid. Anyway, second of all, it's like naming my son Blade. His name's Blade. No. Seriously, Blade. Blade Brown. Blade. Yes. Cameo. Little plug there because I love that movie. Both movies. But they named their kid. First of all, don't do that. Like that's dumb. Second of all, she's gonna do whatever she wants to freaking do. That's just. She then said this is what she's going to do, and she did it. That don't make no damn sense. And third, why are you that invested in this little white woman thinking that she's going to be the demure white? That's what I was like. I think they had an ideal in their heads, and it goes beyond this show. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm getting at? It goes beyond this show of who this person was supposed to be, right? I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that that's happening. And now she's just said she's walking like she's talking, just like freaking Thanos. You know what I mean? Like, Thanos said, I'm going to do this. He did it. That's it. The end of the story. Then he tried to do it again when he found out they tried to stop him. That's who he is. Why are we? That's like saying, hey, you know what? Thanos is. Dang it. They totally changed his character because now he cares. No, he's a complete person. He really did not want to throw Gamora off the damn ledge, but he did anyway because he knew this was his destiny. Daenerys is like,
imagine going into your
these people
job tomorrow,
piss me off.
and your boss tries to hand you a mop and tells you to go in the bathrooms and clean them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's not what I came here for. I came here. I know what it's a script. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I came to do. You can't change it on me. You can't hand me a mop and a broom and tell me to go in there and clean the bathrooms. I'm gonna balk. I'm gonna be like, hell no.
Right.
And that's what a lot of these franchises, some of these things they try to do. They try to hand us a mop and broom and say, hey man, we want you to go in there and clean them bathrooms. We're not going in there. That's not what we came to expect.
Did you think Thrones did that? Because I would say if Danny decided to be sweet and nice, I'd have been like, wait a minute, something's off.
People perceived her, in a sense, people perceived her as a good guy. You know what I mean? Instead of just perceiving her as a character
Who
of what
she
she
is.
was. She
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like who she is. Like, you know what I mean? And she is a person who wanted total control over everything. Only thing she was concerned about was ruling the kingdom. So, and this is what she said. And Bama's bending the knee. That's it. That's all she came for. To rule and to see you bend the knee. Everything else, man, is whatever. I mean, she's burned people up. Like my man, what's the fat boy's name who's always in there reading the record? Now he got the chick pregnant. Yeah, he burned up Sam's family. They didn't want to join her. So instead of saying, hey, okay, just 2 people don't want to join me, go ahead. I'll deal with you later. She was like, no, I'm going to burn you both. So
Right. Why weren't you mad then?
I mean, like, people weren't, like that's, so you surprised? Like, she burned up 2 people who just didn't want to join.
Right.
So now you
and told
that
dude, like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, shit.
Just looked him straight in the eye, like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, well, I
sorry,
still got my
homie.
brother. Well, not exactly.
Here's what I did. She didn't even do that. She didn't even hesitate. She didn't even do that. She was like, yeah, they're not here anymore either, dude. Sorry, I did that. They were on the other side. What do you want me to do? And he was like, excuse me for a second. She's like, of course. I get it. Peace.
Right.
She's a complete person. She got it. She understands. Like, you need to go grieve because I killed your family. I just needed to tell you that.
It didn't
like, this person is a complete person. She's not completely without remorse, but she had a goal. She did what she did, and that's that. Like, I don't understand people. I think there's a bunch of Bama's that just don't have any freaking goals in life. They don't understand what it takes to achieve them. Real talk, I'm being clear. This is something beyond this show that people put their hopes in this woman, right? And I'm like, something's off. Same thing with John. I mean, people putting their hopes in John, and now they're like, oh, I hope he becomes the king and this and that. No, that dude's going to get beheaded at some point. Just know that. Sansa's going to be the queen of all the whole thing, just like she wanted to in the whole freaking beginning of this whole joint. Her hand will be Arya. Tyrion will probably marry her or some crap just because he has to, and that's that.
All right. Well, I think that covers everything on that one. So let's take it on down because I was able to see John Wick 3, Parabellum, and this is the 3rd installment of the John Wick saga. So I'm curious because I want to hear your take on this. Are you guys looking forward to this film? Do you think it's going to continue the John Wick tradition, or are you worried that it is not? It's going to be a letdown. Chase, how about you?
Well, I haven't figured out exactly my level of excitement. I do call myself excited, but I will have to check out the review on lylesmoviefile.com that is available for your viewing pleasure today.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. We do our cheap plugs at least once a show. I'm sorry, you're right. Very expensive plugs here. Please donate to the Patreon page, I'm sure. But no, I this is the last movie.
That would sound like a real podcast.
This is probably the last movie I care to see this year.
Not Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, okay. Yeah, add that to it.
Yeah, you forgot we got Marvel still.
And
Disney's not done with us yet. Disney's not done with us.
Let me say this. Let's say this. If it comes out Memorial Day weekend and the fellas want to go see it, but that's not the case, I really don't care about seeing Hobbs. If it's good, it's like, okay, I'll catch it, but I'm not in need. I mean, like, this is one of, like, I put on my schedule, like, yeah, I'm definitely down to see John Wick 3. But
so basically what you're saying is you're Team Tyrese. That's what I'm hearing.
Wow.
Again, it's an action movie in the summer. Will I see it? Sure. But is it definitely on my list of things to see? Nah. But but back to John Wick. It's like they ended part 2 on such a cool. I mean, part 2 is like anybody who has not seen that movie on IMAX or a great home TV, you were doing yourself a disservice. I mean, like I know, like after the Super Bowl this year, our boy put that on, and it was just like, can the girls just talk so we can watch John Wick on this beautiful TV for the next 2 hours? I mean, I know it's like midnight, but I really just want to watch this movie. If they can up the ante a little bit, not going completely back crap, but if they can do that, and I'm definitely, I mean, that'll be like my real good action movie, like for the year, and then I can go back to the good Marvel story. Basically, really, what is going to be Phase 4 of Marvel. But is this supposed to be the conclusion, Jeff? Because you've actually watched it. Is this the conclusion of the series, or
what are you talking about? You jumped from Marvel.
I'm sorry. I said Marvel's on Phase 4, but I meant, is John Wick the conclusion of this story, or is there potential more?
Watch the movie.
Okay. All right. I'll go with that. But yeah. So I definitely want to go see it. I'm gonna try and see if I can check it out this weekend.
Gunnar, how about you?
If wifey wasn't out of town and I didn't have to, I'm not dude to bring the baby to the movie, but this would be a movie I would probably attempt. No, I'd probably attempt to if I was that dude.
I saw some terrible parenting at the screening I went to. There were several kids who were not able to ride roller coasters yet because they were too young.
That's so
to see John Wick.
I can totally wait till Monday, or whatever, like Monday night, and go watch this movie. It's really not that serious. But if I could see it Friday before, no, I can't because she's leaving Thursday. Anyway, so no, if I'd be right there on Friday, like, yo, I'm gonna watch this movie, and if I can get away with watching it during the day while he's at the babysitter, I will try. Sorry, clients, if you're listening, but yeah, sorry. If you know why,
I tuned out when you started ranting about Danny being the white savior.
Listen, my clients know me. They know. Anyways, so I'm thank you for putting that into articulate words, because it's true. But anyway, so no, I'm so down for John Wick. The way it ended with 2, there's no doubt that 3 is great. I mean, I have zero doubt. Common was in the last movie and did not bring the movie down. There's nothing that they can do with John Wick that's wrong unless they have lightsabers. And even that would still be cool.
I don't know, man. I think I'd be down to see that.
The only time they would do that is like if the ending was just like they had Don't Stop Believing and they just, fade to black. Or they just sitting in jail and they fade out and they're just talking to each other. Or it was all a dream.
That would also be bad. All right, Javon, how about you? What do you think on this?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see it. I mean, look, as long as you got minimal dialogue and tons of action and gunplay with Keanu Reeves, you can't go wrong. It's not like he's gonna at the halfway point or the 10 minutes left in the film, he has to give a rousing speech or anything like that. He's going to wear dark clothes. He's going to shoot, stab, and punch and kick people. That's what Keanu Reeves does best. Minimal dialogue and lots of action. They're not going to deviate that. They know what a bell cow is.
Dude, isn't it crazy that Keanu Reeves is like the action dude where it's like, yeah, this is what 55. Keanu Reeves does best. Crazy.
At 55, yeah.
Yeah, if you'd have told me at Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, I'd have laughed at you.
Yeah, seriously. But that's a whole nother topic right there, like actors' career paths and how they turn. Yeah. Yeah, no, dude, I'm gonna go see it. They really can't mess this up. Even Halle Berry, if you, like Gunnar said, if you could put Common in this, you can't, and you're still like loving what you're seeing. You can't mess this up.
I will send you a spoiler for you. She does not mention anything about toads in this movie.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Chief, what's your
excitement for
John Wick?
Anybody? Oh, sorry.
No, you said they don't mention what about what in the movie?
There's no mention of toads in this movie. Halle Berry didn't offer a warning or a heads up about toads. So we're all good. That's my only spoiler. So what's your excitement level?
Well, Jeff, nothing excites me anymore. But there's things that I want to see. And just like our previous conversation, as long as they keep the formula, I'll keep going to see it. You know what I mean? These John Wick movies aren't a dialogue movie, like Javon said. You know what I mean? You don't got to worry about if you take a female with you, her tapping you in the middle of the movie, like, what's going on? What did he say? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what he said. You know what I mean? These movies are just pure. These movies are just pure action. You get to see some incredible fight sequences. I know Keanu Reeves has put in a lot of work. I've seen some of the YouTube shorts with him working with the guns. So he's actually, had training with these guns going into the movie. So, and it shows, like, he looks like he knows what he's doing. I like the way, the way the camera's catching the killings. I like how he, from Zombieland, I like how he double taps. Like I said, this is a formula that works.
John Wick double taps more effectively than Jon Snow.
Yeah. Well, Jon Snow should have double tapped. So this is just one of those things where the formula's great, the storyline has been so far really good, and at some point you're like, man, why they keep messing with this dude? But they do. Which brings me to another movie similar like this. Well, not exactly similar, but somewhat. The Equalizer hasn't been bad. Now, I won't say it's as good as John Wick has been, but as long as that movie there follows the same storyline, you can go and see those movies. Like, you know what I mean? Before your man messed it up, who wouldn't have saw another Taken? You know what I mean?
I probably would have stopped. That third one was not. It was ungood.
Well, what's the third one about? That was when they killed his wife, right?
Yeah, he was trying to find his daughter who had been taken.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I mean, I sat there. I could sit there and watch it. I mean, if I'm, some movies you just can't. When they come on, you're just not gonna watch them at all. And I tend to watch. I tend to watch action movies. I can literally just sit there and just watch an action movie because it requires no thought. And that's the beauty of them. You don't have to think about or outguess something for a couple hours. You go into a drama or some kind of crime movie, and the whole time in the movie you working to see what are you missing, what clues. John Wick movies like the other movies I mentioned, you can just sit there for 2 hours and just watch. You don't have to think about, damn, is that letter from the IRS coming today? None of that. It's just you clear your mind of everything. You enjoy the killing. You know what I mean? And sometimes we're Americans. That's what we like. A good old movie filled with plenty of death. And John Wick offers that. I mean, I think I lost count in the first John Wick, like 70 kills in that movie. So I didn't even bother to count the second one, but the first one I think I counted like 70, and I just stopped counting. So here we are, the third chapter. Seems like they're spitting out one every 2 years. I can't wait. I'm gonna go see this one, and if they make another one after this one, I'll be in attendance for that one. As long as I don't have to see Keanu Reeves in another love movie, a love story. What's that movie with him and old girl?
Matrix 2.
No,
Winona
Charlize
Ryder.
Theron. She was sick in the movie.
Sorry, I just want to
And
be asked.
he tried to get with her, but she kept pushing him away because she wanted to die alone or something. And I remember I had to sit through that movie. You know what I mean? And I started eating the popcorn container. So you know what I mean? So this you know what I mean? So this is what he does. This is his
wheelhouse.
This is what he does. Yeah, this kind of movies that he should do. Because you figure these are the movies that he comes in and makes his bread and butter. You've got The Matrix, you've got Speed,
Point Break,
you got the John Wick, you know, and I'm sure if you look, those have been, I don't know about Billy Ted, but these movies here have been his most popular movies, I'm pretty sure. So, and now he's got his own, again, it's just his own franchise alone with just him kind of the star. You know, he doesn't have to share the screen with, you know, well, actually Lawrence Fishburne is in these, but he doesn't have to share with, what's the girl, Trinity? What was her name in that movie?
Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah, I was trying to think of her movie. Anyways, and I have to share the.
Trinity.
This is like John Wick. It was Trinity, right?
Yeah.
So so he doesn't have to share the movie with like any other stars. He's the main star. He comes in, he does his thing, and like I said, this should be another great one. I'm ready.
Good deal.
You
All
said
right.
Friday, it comes out this Friday?
This Friday. It is that special magical time of the week. Do you have any nominees for Dummy of the Week?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I know we've been getting on them pretty much all day of this whole show, but I'm actually going to say the Dummies of the Weeks are the ones calling for a petition for HBO to rewrite season 8 of Game of Thrones. Like, guys, if you want to rage quit a show, rage quit. Don't try and drag anybody else into your ridiculousness. Just do like I'm gonna do for Arrow next season, and just rage quit it, and just be like, hey, you know, I use some time. I now get that hour or so of my life back. I can, you know, talk to friends and family. You know, if it's that deep for y'all, just call it a day. Like, just move on. It's like it's not the end of the world to just say, hey, this show didn't meet my expectations. I'm gonna go do something else with my life. So my W's of the weeks are the ones calling for a petition asking HBO to redo season 8 of Game of Thrones.
I'm going to nominate for Dummy of the Week one, Jeffrey Lyles, because like a moron, I decided to give ABC a shot with their heavily promoted show, Whiskey Cavalier. I decided I was not going to be able to keep up with the week to week, so I was just going to DVR every episode and binge the mess out of it once it reached its season finale. Haha, joke's on me, because the series was one of several cut, canceled, and no more. So that was on me for giving a show, a series in its first season a shot. You, Jeffrey Lyles, are a moron. Not just the dumb.
I guess we'll be seeing a lot more Maggie on season 10 of The Walking
Dead. Yeah. Guess who's back? Yeah. So I'm just like, see, I don't know why I get lured into the 8,000 commercials hyping this new, funny, witty, exciting show, and then they cancel it after 11 weeks.
Hey, let's see what Aunt Robin / Agent Hill does with her new show soon coming out.
Is it on ABC or NBC?
It doesn't even matter.
On NBC, I believe.
Canceled.
Yeah, it won't even go to full season run. Also, I have another Dummy of the Week because it made me stop watching the show that I've watched pretty religiously for the last few seasons. Whoever came up with this wild card challenge on The Voice needs to be in the unemployment line or checking to make sure Metro employees are not eating at the job, because they made it so this season was terrible and it just became the all country review. And you, ma'am or man, you suck. You killed the fun of this show. Blake Shelton has 3 of the 4 artists, and Adam and John Legend have been doing, or Adam and Kelly have been doing nothing these last couple of weeks. So you suck. Let's fix this show. Let's make The Voice awesome and like a singing show and not a popularity contest because America sucks at voting. All right, everybody. That is absolutely going to do it for us this episode. Fellas, thank you as always. Thank you all out there for listening. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.